First responders know the struggle of keeping their gear fresh. Sweat, smoke, and other odors can cling to your equipment, and much of our stuff can't be thrown in the washer. Enter Arrest My Vest, an odor-eliminating spray for vests, tactical gear, bunker gear, and more. Unlike other sprays that just mask odors, Arrest My Vest eliminates them at the source, leaving your gear fresh and odor-free. It's non-toxic, natural, and plant-based. There are several scents, or if you're like me, you can opt for the fragrance-free. Arrest My Vest is made in the USA and has been serving first responders across the nation with a money-back guarantee. Find it at arrestmyvest.com or on Amazon. Welcome to Blue Grit Radio, the podcast that explores making better cops for a better community. I'm your host, Eric Tung. I've been an active police officer since 2007. We will dive into the aspects of police culture, health and wellness, leadership, and mindset. You'll hear from experts not only from policing, but all industries as they relate to being our best with purpose, passion, and positivity. Join me as we share stories, lessons, and advice so we can all be better for ourselves, our teams, our families, and our communities. Public safety is a vital societal need. While there's a narrative that police departments are hiring everybody, the truth is that high standards remain, and many of you may be finding that. You need to present as the most proficient and optimal version of yourself to meet and surpass those expectations. So not only be yourself, but be your best version of yourself. The quality of law enforcement is foundational to public trust and community safety. As law enforcement officers, we don't just respond to emergencies, we set the standard for professionalism, accountability, and integrity. Each interaction, decision, and action reflects not only you as an individual, but also on the agency and the badge you wear. Ultimately, the entire policing profession as a whole. Exceptional law enforcement requires a commitment to continuous improvement, humility to learn from mistakes, and the grit to rise to demands of a challenging profession. It's about being the person you trust to help your own family in a moment of crisis, calm, prepared, and resolute. Strive to embody the core values of serving the need, building your ownership, building your team, and giving it your all. This profession demands nothing less than your best, and when you give it, you make a lasting impact on the people and communities you serve. Always remember your why. That's how you honor the trust placed in you as an officer, and that's how you start by showing up as an applicant, a candidate, a recruit, and one day a full-fledged officer. If you are interested in being a police officer, if you have stepped up into this fold, into this career path, whereas other people have stepped away or watched from the sidelines and critiqued with no basis to do so, thank you. Thank you for stepping up for this crucial role. Thank you for demonstrating the desire to be your best for yourself, your team, your family, and your community. Stay hungry, stay humble, and always stay gritty. So that is my message to you, those that are interested, those that are coming in. I hope it provides you a good framework for your mindset. I urge you to take time, take notes, and pick apart your why. Why do you want to be a cop? You want to help people. Okay, that's a common response. Let's go deeper. Why do you want to help people through this vein? Well, I want to work with people on the street. I want to work with people in really bad situations. Okay, cool. Now we're doing better, but that's what a lot of people do. That's what crisis workers do. That's what other first responders do or co-responders do. That's what counselors do, mental health professionals, people that work in addiction clinics. They certainly help a lot of people in times of need and when they're down on their luck. Social workers, teachers in certain communities. Why do you want to be a cop? By going down this rabbit hole exercise is intended to be extremely reflective, but it's also intended to help you really identify what you're trying to do, why you're trying to do it, and then how you want to do it. This is just one example of a simple prompt that I have in my hiring guide. There are many more like it through each stage in the game, specifically in prepping your mindset, but also how you navigate the hiring interviews, the oral board panels, written test, physical test. Talk about how you show up, not just to pass the test, but how you adopt a mindset to dive into this life of fitness and wellness so that you can be your best. Also, the background check, all the need to know, common errors. I'm not teaching you how to game the process. This is just helping you understand what to expect so you can show up your best way and not spin your wheels through trial and error, not waste time, stress, money, throwing yourself at the process and all these testing fees and getting time off work and scheduling and driving down for all these oral boards just to fail them and feel disappointed and down on yourself. It's all too common of a story, people being like, man, I really want to be a cop and I don't know what's really wrong with me. I guess they didn't want me. I guess I wasn't good enough. No, for the most part, people that really want this for the right reasons are very well suited. They're just not well suited yet, or they need to figure out the process, or they need to get more confident in interviews. And then by getting more confident in interviews, you can get more confident on the street, dealing in really tense situations, right? Like a lot of people would say that they'd have no problem dealing with a volatile situation on the street, and yet they are super extremely nervous during interviews. One is not like the other, but I will say if you can handle an interview, you're better suited to handle that thing on the street. And ultimately, if you can handle that thing on the street with a little bit of preparation and mindset, you can handle that interview. So that is why I put all that out there. The opening passage is actually the beginning of the hiring guide to kind of help yourself prep your mindset for that. And there's a lot of quick tips and then more expansive sharing on my experience as I failed my first oral board in my hometown. Super humbling, right? But then, fast forward through a career, I'm interviewing in that same town for a commander job and I get the offer, right? Like that's a very poetic, fantastic kind of flip around, but there's a lot of stuff that happened in between, right? Trial and error at the entry level, figuring out the process, eventually acing oral boards, and then getting my pick of which agency to work in. And that's not even today's times. That was the first of its kind back in 2007. But I was able to really refine my process and showcase my best self, like not be something I wasn't, because that's where I was faltering and failing, but being my best self, presenting genuinely and really thoughtfully, like really doing the work and the mental gymnastics to show up in such a good way. And then we could get into, selection and the career and the different specialties I've had the opportunity to do, and I'm super grateful for, and promoting a couple times in my own agency, sergeant and commander. But that all comes with showing up your best way. That all comes with a solid mindset, solid intention, preparation, not just for the test, but in the actual thing you're trying to do. So I go into all that. So that is my sincere hope, is that you commit to yourself and you make sure that you are best set up for this process so you're not wasting your time, not wasting your effort. You can find it on bluegritwellness.com. Just go to the shop and share it out. Maybe you're listening in, you're newly hired, or you're actually a very active, successful cop, and you're just listening in to see what kind of notes I want to share with the younger generation. And I mean by experience, because many of you are coming in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and hats off to you. So please share it out. It's the guide that we all wish we had, but we didn't. But it's here now. So let's get those seats filled. Let's get people showing up their best way for my department, for your department, departments all over the nation and Canada. I think that's the main expanse of my reach, but I don't really know what police testing is like beyond that. But if there's any trend or carryover, it would certainly be helpful there too. With that, I leave you with a thank you, a stay safe, and stay gritty. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Blue Grit Radio. As always, support this community by subscribing, giving us a 5-star review, and following, liking, and sharing posts on Blue Grit Wellness on Instagram. You can reach me there or email me at bluegritwellness@gmail.com. Be well and stay gritty.